Hey guys, Greg here. Topic, what is a Japanese apartment like? Aiko and I filmed a tour of our Japanese apartment and we had a lot of comments and many of them were contradictory, so I want to take this opportunity to clarify things. On a side note, part of the reason I created the X channel was so that I could expand upon certain topics found in our regular Life Where I'm From videos, but I didn't quite think I'd have to expand upon it so soon, but here we go. We had comments like, it's so messy, it's so clean, it's so tiny, it's so big. This wasn't any different from a normal apartment, WTF. Or, this apartment looks so Japanese. But the comment that really got me, that inspired me to make this video, was this one. This not an apartment in Japan. This is a mansion. Condo in American English, probably rented in Japan. They are on average 3 times bigger than apartments. Most apartments in Japan don't have nearly as much space as this video shows. I wish people who lived in Japan would stop showing this fake, misleading stuff to the world. And I will bet you this apartment is part of a multi-story building, really tall, almost like the project flats in England, and it requires IC card entry to get into the main building. I really love the comments section, especially when there's a healthy discussion going on, but it's the fake misleading part that just kind of got me. So after getting slightly offended for being called not average, I don't know why I want to be average, but I don't know. That kind of feels weird to me, like I'm not average, huh? But after that I checked out the stats, because I wanted to see, is there some truth to this? Or where's this person coming from? Or where are these people coming from? Because there's lots of comments about, this place is big, this is not a normal apartment. And before I get into whether or not we're an average Japanese family, I have to say that we're very, very, very fortunate as people living on Earth. I mean, we're in the top, maybe 1%, 2%, I don't know. We're in the top 5% at least for our standard of living and our safety and just our quality of living. We're very fortunate. So yes, we have it pretty good. But what is an average Japanese family of 4 like? Or what is an average Tokyo family of 4 like? Well, I looked at the stats and, I'm going to throw some up pretty quickly. I'll leave the links below in the description so you can check them out yourselves. But yeah, I'm not going to disclose exactly where we are in this whole mess of things, but yeah, we're fairly average. Now, is this common for something in Tokyo? Do we actually live in Tokyo? Yeah, we do. We live in one of Tokyo's 23 wards. Again, for privacy reasons, we're not going to say exactly where we live, but we do indeed live within the 23 wards of Tokyo. And when you're within the 23 wards of Tokyo, you can pretty much get to the core within 30 minutes, and you can get to the other side of Tokyo within about an hour or so. So terminology-wise, is this an apato or a mansion? So apato is, I think it's maybe a 2-story type of building or a 1-story type of building. They're smaller units, and this is definitely not an apato if that's the definition you're using. This is, I would say, considered a mansion, which is usually 3 stories or higher. Ours happens to be a 3-story unit building. It's not a big one, no IC cards for the entry, no doorman, nothing like that. And in the area where we live, there's a lot of these types of 3 or 4 or 5-story mansions. Our building is 20 years old, which is not very old, but it's also not very new. So a lot of the technology you see is 20-year-old technology. I had comments on our bathroom video saying this is like a fancy bathroom, only the rich people can afford it, this is not normal. Well, this is 20-year-old technology built for a family type of unit. So yeah, this unit is a family unit, and actually Tokyo has a program where they can kind of designate places as affordable family units, and ours falls within that category. And I don't know too much details about the program, but it is part of that. So what is the size of this thing? Well, it's a 3 LDK, which means 3 bedrooms, a living room, dining room, and a kitchen. Now, the living room and dining room part's kind of misleading because, I mean, if you're used to North American homes like I am, I mean, it's really the size of a living room or a dining room, but they just say LDK. Like, we do film with a wide-angle lens, so it might have seemed bigger than it really is. But the total size of the unit is 70 square meters, which is approximately 750 square feet. Is that big for Japanese 3LDK? It's maybe slightly on the big size, maybe by a few square meters, but it's not too off for a 3LDK. Oh, I forgot to mention that mansions usually are reinforced concrete buildings. So this is a reinforced concrete building, which means the soundproofing is pretty good and it should do pretty well in the case of an earthquake. And the insulation I find is very good in this place. So I hear a lot about Japanese places not being insulated, but this unit, I think it does a pretty good job. So out of all that square footage, we have 3 bedrooms. And the 2 main bedrooms, which is where I'm in right now, which is like where I have my bed over here, and then I have my office over here. That is roughly, let's see here, that's I think 10 square meters, which is roughly 100 square feet. And the same for the kids' bedroom, which is the tatami room. That is also the same size. And in the front, what we call a storage room, which we use it for storage, but it's just a room. That's a bit smaller by about, I think, 20 square feet or about 2 square meters. So is this place expensive? Well, I guess I'll let you be the judge. So it's 11 7,000 a month, and that's for the rent and the maintenance fee as well. So that's roughly about $1,000 US. Of course, the exchange rate goes up and down, so depending on what time, it may be different, but it's roughly around 1,000 USD for living in a major metropolitan area, actually the biggest metropolitan area in the world. Now, we don't live in the core of Tokyo, so the rent could be double, triple, or quadruple what it is where we live if we lived right in the center of Tokyo. But we don't, and you don't have to, because like I said, it's about a 30-minute commute from anywhere within the 23 wards to the core of Tokyo. So it's not too bad, as long as you live close to a station, which we do. Now, if you don't live within the 23 wards of Tokyo, you can get something that's even bigger for the same price, or just get something that's much more affordable. So I did a search of Tokyo apartment rentals, and depending on what site you go to, you'll find different pricing. So if you go to those executive sites for expats, you know, which are a lot of English sites out there, you will find prices that are a lot higher. Now, was able to find one site where they happen to have, I guess, regular listings. At least they're regular listings to me. And you could find places that were around the price we're paying in different parts of the city. So on the west side or on the east side, or if you go outside of the city too, you'll find different places. So it's, you know, you can find places like this. Now, I should say that when I use Japanese apartment, I think that is misleading as a title, because, I mean, Japan is a big place. So, I mean, it's like, what happens if you said this is an average American apartment, or this is an average Canadian apartment? I mean, it really depends on what city you're living in, what area you're in, what income level you're at, or what you're paying. There's so many different factors that go in. But is this a special apartment? No. Is it bigger than the average apartment for a single person? Yeah, it is. Yeah, if you're a single person coming to Tokyo to live, I can easily see you being in a place that's about 3 times smaller, and the rent is probably about half the price as well, and you're probably living more into the core of Tokyo. But, you know, we're a family of 4. We're middle-aged, or almost middle-aged, I don't even know. I mean, I'm in my mid-30s, getting close to middle-age. So that's kind of the life situation we're at. We have 2 kids who are in school. I work out of home, so I don't know. To me, when I look around the area where we live in, I've asked my daughter about, she goes into homes, I asked my wife about it too, and they said, no, this is fairly average. But I think another thing is that our place is fairly, I guess, not furnished. I mean, I guess it depends on who you talk to. If you look at the comments, you'll see people who say, you know, one thing or the other. But I think it's not as stuffed as other apartments are, so it gives the illusion of more room than it is. But I must say that I'm very happy with the amount of space we have. I think we're fortunate to have the space, and yeah, so I guess I'm lucky, yeah. Yeah, I think that's about it. That's all I want to get off my chest, and I think that's all the details I wanted to throw in there. Please do continue to leave comments. I really enjoy reading them. I really enjoy the discussion that it creates. And thank you again for watching, and I'll catch you on the flip side.